In recent years, the U.S. and Cal State systems found that 4 in 10 students were not getting enough food to eat or were worried about the access to food. Using this number, that means in our class there would be around 8 or 9 students who had to worry about the access to food. Luckily, there are many resources open to support these families with the food troubles, like food banks and food pantries, to provide the services they need. The purpose of this speech is to motivate you to volunteer, donate, or at least spread the news of food banks and food pantries so we can provide the help the struggling families need with their hunger needs. I have volunteered at my local food bank at St. Francis of Rome Church in Azusa since the 6th grade. I've had an incredible experience talking to the people coming in for help. I've heard many of their life stories, which is truly a moving experience. We should help at food banks to support the people and families who are struggling with providing themselves with the necessary amount of food they need. First, I'll be talking about how widespread of a problem hunger is in our community. Second, I'll be providing a solution to this problem. And third, I'll be discussing how the situation can change with your help. So let's start off with how the widespread of a problem hunger is. Families with dealing with food insecurities is a large problem in our community. The U.S. Department of Agriculture defines families that are food insecure as uncertain of having or unable to acquire enough food to meet the needs of all the members because they have insufficient money or resources for food. Not getting the proper amount of food will negatively affect your mental and physical health. This can lead to an increase in mental health illnesses like depression, anxiety, or negatively affect your physical health like a decrease in weight and an increase in fat. As a college student, it is much harder to study and focus when they are hungry. So if about 4 out of 10 students are food insecure, they cannot perform at a standard level due to a problem that's a basic human need. This is a problem that is also widespread across our nation. According to the USDA, in 2020, 13.8 million U.S. households were food insecure at some point during the year. And in 2019, according to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, 580,000 people experience homelessness, who are people who are also facing many food troubles. So now that we get an idea of the extent of this problem, let me discuss how communities are trying to solve it. One of the biggest things in our nation has done to combat hunger outside of government programs is the creation of food banks and food pantries. Food banks are warehouses that contain food and other products that are distributed to communities in need. Food pantries are ones that directly work with the community. Food banks and food pantries provide meals and other essentials like toiletries to the communities and families who are food insecure. In order to achieve a hunger-free nation, these food banks and food pantries need our support. According to the USDA, more than 38 million people, including 12 million children, are food insecure in the U.S. Feeding America is the largest hunger relief organization in the U.S. and is one of the biggest driving forces, with 200 food banks and over 60,000 food pantries across the nation fighting against this problem, and is how you can help. Go to feedingamerica.org website in which you can look up the impact that they've had across the nation. Last year alone, they have distributed more than 3.6 billion meals to people in need. Through the money donated to them, government and community and company donations, and our community's help, the food banks collect the necessary food and resources for people. Then those resources are distributed out to food pantries, who are the ones that interact and build a relationship with these communities in need. This work can consist of bagging and giving out goods such as canned goods and dry goods or any other toiletries to these people. And some of these bags contain goods like vegetables, fruits and beans, or dry goods like pastas, cereals, and breads. So with this plan like the one used by Feeding America, how can this create a better future? Well, organizations like Feeding America have already begun their plans to fight food insecurity. No one should struggle with putting food on the table because it's essential to our lives as humans. We should live in a nation where people should not worry or struggle about whether they have to skip a meal or have to put food on the table. College students should have their priorities on school rather than focus on something that's essential to our lives. Without these types of programs, many low-income families and individuals would go hungry or will negatively affect how their health is, which is something they shouldn't even have to be worrying about. Alyssa Christensen, a 2011 sociology graduate from Cal Poly Pomona, stated that she often skipped meals and went hungry because she didn't have enough money to buy food. So many low-income students will have to face many of the problems similar to Alyssa if these programs were not supported. To conclude, hunger is a very large problem that many people around the world face, and many of these effects can be seen here at Cal Poly. But luckily for these people, there are many organizations out there like Feeding America or even our very own Poly Pantry here at Cal Poly help support these individuals. But as of now, we can only reach so far. With your help to these organizations, we can reach out to more people in need, or at the very least, inform the individuals who do not know about the options, like the Poly Pantry, to get the food that they need so they don't have to go hungry. So I ask of you, if you have some time, go to feedingamerica.org or go to the Cal Poly website and search up the Poly Pantry to see a more in-depth look at what they do and support them in any way you can. For Feeding America, our closest food bank, supported by them, is the LA Regional Food Bank in Los Angeles, and the website gives you a detailed way of how to sign up to go and volunteer. If you can volunteer, see if you can donate any extra food that you have Once again, go to the Feeding America website and it'll give you ways to donate to places like the Los Angeles Regional Food Bank, or even here at Poly Pantry. There's ways you can donate your food or any money that you have to support these organizations. And if you don't have the resources to do so, then the least you can do is at least share the missions on either one of the social medias at Feeding America on either Twitter or Instagram, or for the Poly Pantry, go to CPP Basic Needs on Instagram. So with your help, we can provide support to many of these hunger relief programs like Feeding America and the Poly Pantry, so that no one person, especially kids or even college students like us, have to worry about hunger again. Thank you.